Are you thinking of hosting a gathering soon? Here are 7 mistakes you want to avoid at all costs.
Do you break into a sweat with even the thought of having company? I'm here to help. After trying just a few of my hosting tips, you'll be more than ready to say, come on over.
It cracks me up when people say to me, well, it's easier for you to give tips, you never make mistakes. Oh, but I have. So we're gonna sit him up here like he's overlooking his terrain, and he does not want to sit on this terrain. No matter what I do, this owl. We all have, and that's how we learn what not to do. Probably my biggest hosting mistake at the beginning of hosting was I had a dinner party and I wanted to move everybody into another room. So I just stood up and blew out the candles on the table.
Party's over!
Yes, don't do that. That's like signaling this table is dead to us and you must leave or go to another room. I mean, it's just not your decision when you need to move people to another room, which brings up another great tip, and that is having a strict schedule or the way things must go is not really great, because although it's good for the hostess to have a schedule, that schedule needs to be pretty flexible.
Look, I'm prepared for every situation, except for the one where there's no master plan.
If it's too strict, your guests will feel like you are the commandant.
Go! What's your sole purpose in this army?
To do whatever you tell me, drill sergeant.
And this is your party, and you crack will do what I say when you say, and nobody really wants to go to that party. Nobody. So don't do that. I'm begging you. All right, how about this one? I have been known to do this. I have actually removed the dishes from in front of people during the dinner party, rinsed them off in the sink, and loaded the dishwasher. And then, just to make it more no, I started the dishwasher. Nothing says to guests, please leave, like taking their dishes away, rinsing them off, and putting them in the dishwasher.
Did you know that plates and bowls are pacifists? They don't like violence.
Now, the only way I could see you sort of breaking that rule is if you're clearing the dinner dishes to bring out the dessert plates. That's okay, but just stack the dishes in the sink or on the counter or somewhere that you can get to later. Trust me, that food will wash off. It will be okay. They will go in the dishwasher, just not when your guests are there. It makes them feel uncomfortable.
Sweetie, this conversation's starting to make me a little uncomfortable.
And it often makes someone like me feel like I have to get up and help. You don't have to do that. Just leave it be. People will sit around the table and enjoy every moment as it is. Here's a mistake I've made one time. I did not ask an out-of-town guest about food allergies. I don't know why I didn't ask. I guess I didn't even think that there might be something serious that I need to ask about. Now, I always ask that, especially if someone's coming from out of town. But if it's a new person that I haven't had to dinner yet, I will ask them, now, are there any food allergies? Or how do you feel about seafood? Or how do you feel about onions? Or what's your spiciness level? Because you don't want to make food the person can't eat, which is exactly what happened at this dinner party. They could not eat a single thing I served.
Ugh! I can't do this to my mouth.
And I'm not saying that you have to cater to everybody and ask everyone about everything, or you won't have anything to eat. I'm just saying that if there is something really critical about an out-of-town guest and they have spent the time and the money to travel to your town to see you, it's a great idea to ask those questions before they get here so that when they do arrive, hungry and tired, there's something for them to eat. Now, this one I've done, and I've done it far too many times, and I can't quite get it right. I'm sure you've been to a dinner party where the music was too loud. I've actually catered a dinner party where I've said to the host, your music is too loud. I think you'll find that a lower volume will be better for conversation. And they always thank me for that because it's hard to hear that when you're racing around, setting the table, getting things just right. It's hard to hear how loud the music is. It's just you in your head. But when people come in and they're talking, if they're having to talk like this over your best of the 80s soundtrack, probably not comfortable for your guests. So start at a lower volume, and if someone says, oh, I wish I could hear that song, that's your cue to kind of turn it up a notch and enjoy the music more. Or if you're gonna do something like a name that tune game, that's a good time to turn up the music. But it really should be kind of a low hum while the party's going on. Here's a great tip, especially for people in the South. If the party starts at 6, that is not when you eat.
Act like you got some raisin.
I've known people in my past, in my family even, who think if I said 6 o'clock, that means when you walk through the door, you're gonna sit down at the table and we're gonna eat. No, if the invitation says 6 o'clock, plan not to eat until 6:30, which means your food needs to either hold in a warming drawer or finish at 6:30. Just go ahead and set the timer and make sure if what you want to come out of the oven or out of the crock pot or out off of the grill,
There's supposed to be chicken in there.
make sure 6:30 is the time you're really going to serve it. And finally, if someone takes the moment to say to you, what can I bring? Don't do what I did when I first moved here, these many years ago, and say, nope, just bring yourself, I got it all covered. And they say, well, I'd really like to bring something. No, don't need anything, no, don't do that. Give them something. Have in mind something they could bring. Not something that's critical to your meal because it might be too late by the time they get here to add it to your meal, but you can always have someone bring a dessert. They can always run by the grocery store and get some chocolate covered strawberries, or they can pick up an angel food cake, or they can pick up anything from the bakery to help that dessert move along. They can bring wine, or in this case, a nice little champagne, or sparkling wine, I'm supposed to say. They could bring candles. They could bring flowers. I once scrambled to think of something for a guest to bring, and I said, if you have a minute to run by a grocery store, you could just bring a bouquet of flowers, and they were delighted. And it was a beautiful bouquet of flowers, which we just threw right into a vase, and it made a lovely centerpiece. So have something ready. It could be napkins. It could be a beverage of something that you might want to add, like if you thought somebody might want soda to go with the meal. Although I'm not a big fan of that, there might be children there. Have them bring one of the favorite sodas.
It tastes like coconuts and Clorox wipes.
And I cannot tell you how many times I have stopped on the way to a dinner party and picked up ice. Because you always think you have enough ice, and then you don't. So let them bring something to your party.
I just don't like the idea that anytime there's a dinner invitation, there's this annoying little chore that goes along with it.
We all make hosting mistakes. I have made hosting mistakes. I will probably continue to make hosting mistakes, but I learn from each of those mistakes to make the next gathering as mistake-free as I possibly can. Let me get rid of the slippers because you know what'll happen. I'll start tapping. Tap, okay. Tap, like nevermore.
I am rolling.
Hold on, gotta get rid of the mint. Come on. Are you Thor? That's what I almost said. Are you Thor? Here are 7
So much for the coffee.
mistakes. You don't really know what's going to happen in the course. You don't really know. I don't really know what I'm about to say, basically.
Come on over. Now go make someone feel special today.